Hey there, guys. Welcome back to a brand new Flick Pick live show. This is it. Don't get scared now. With all that said, I have to return some videotapes, so I'll be right back. I'm sorry, I just did that for theatrical reasons. By the way, this is my custom t-shirt. Link down below. There's like pictures of it under the video if you guys pick one up. Let me know. Tweet me a picture of that bad boy, and I will share that shit. But as always, guys, thank you so much for joining me once again for another live show. Where you guys get to decide the topics that we talk about. So whatever questions you guys ask, that's what I talk about. And with all that said, the first thing I want to talk about, and I'm just going to get this out of the way, I do actually have a reaction video. It's more than a reaction video. It's sort of like a thoughts on video. And by the way, let me double check this audio. Oh, sounds good. I do have a reaction / thoughts on video of Spider-Man No Way Home, the trailer coming out. I do have a lot of thoughts, but my first quick thoughts, because I know I'm going to have a whole bunch of questions about it. I enjoyed it. I think the biggest shock value for everyone that's loving the trailer is it pretty much confirms that we do have villains from other Spider-Man films and multiple different Spider-Man universes. And the trailer confirms that, which gets everyone instantly excited. Now, those rumors have been going around for like a year, so I wasn't that shocked by it. And there was definitely some CG manipulation where they erased... There's just a few scenes in the trailer where it literally looks like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man would have been in that shot, but they digitally erased them for the trailer. Like just some of the framing, you can see it. But I have a lot more to say about it. But yeah, I'm excited for it. Yes, please give it to me. It could possibly and easily be the best Spider-Man movie ever made. My only nitpick, my only complaint, and I have so much more to say about this, and I'm holding back right now, is stylistically, the look of it. It looks like every other Marvel movie. And what I mean by that, even that money shot at the end of the trailer where Doc Ock shows up, they shot that on a highway overpass bridge. Could you pick a least interesting location to shoot an action sequence? Something about that just looks so blah and boring. I mean, they did the same kind of action sequence in Captain America Winter Soldier. Then in Captain America Civil War, the big final finale fight sequences are done on an airport runway where it's just concrete. So I guess I'm just tired of looking at gray concrete. I don't know. I wanted like on top of like the Empire State Building in New York City with the rain pouring down and lightning in the background when Doc Ock showed up. I don't know. I know that's being nitpicky, and there's probably 20 more action sequences in the film. I have no clue what they are, but just something about that look and that tone. It just looks so washed out and concrete. That's my only nitpick with the trailer. That's all. So anyway, and I know it's just a trailer, but once again, if I'm going to judge a trailer, I'm going to judge what I got in the trailer. The movie could be way better and more visually stunning than that, but that was my only nitpick. So with all that said, I did enjoy the trailer. Hell yes. I enjoyed the Green Goblin grenade showing up at the end, and clearly Doc Ock was talking to Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I mean, come on. He doesn't know who Peter Parker is in the MCU. He doesn't know who okay, I thought something just glitched out. But he doesn't know who Tom Holland Spider-Man is. So, yeah, it looks awesome. I can't wait. All right, let's dive into your guys' questions. You guys are already killing it with the questions. I'm going to try to rapid fire through as many as I possibly can. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this live show tonight for 1 hour, so around 9:30ish Eastern time. I'm going to wrap up the live show. But wait, there's more. Tomorrow night, I'm going to do tomorrow's Monday, so I'm going to do something called Monday Night Movie Talk. So what that's going to be, I think around, let's say like 9 o'clock tomorrow night, I'm going to do another live stream for like an hour or so. And then if you guys are YouTube members or Patreon supporters, I have an extra bonus for you guys. After that live show, I'm going to do a special after party live show just for you guys. So I will send you guys a special private link. I know that sounds weird and creepy, but just hang on for a second. It's a link on the internet that you can trust. It's coming from me. Okay. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to send you guys a special link, YouTube members and Patreon supporters. So after the live show tomorrow, the public one, I'm going to send you guys a special invite to a private one just for you guys. So you guys can show up, eat some popcorn, hang out. And the cool thing about that live show is I will answer all of your questions, talk about whatever you want to talk about. And also I will be doing some giveaways. What am I giving away? Well, some brand new 4K movies, maybe some steelbooks. Just hang tight. You'll see tomorrow night. So don't miss that. I will announce all the details tomorrow night on the live show, so don't miss it. Okay, Let me dive into the questions. I'm getting excited now. Thomas Jones. Actually, let's start down here. Okay. That's weird. Why is that so weird? Okay, Thomas Jones says, "Hi, John. Hope you're doing well. Big fan of the channel. What is your favorite DiCaprio movie and favorite DiCaprio performances?" Leonardo DiCaprio is definitely one of my favorite actors. I think I relate to him. Like, if I was an actor, that's the acting style I would go for. So when it comes to DiCaprio, I would say a few of my favorite performances. I'd say my end-all, be-all favorite performance that I love from DiCaprio, and probably my favorite movie he's ever made, is Catch Me If You Can. Something about that film, I love, like, his journey as a teenager, sort of like running away from home, being a criminal, but a smart criminal. I love movies about smart criminals. I love that. He had another movie with Robert De Niro. Why can I not remember the name of it? A Boy's Story? A Boy's Life? I think it's A Boy's Life. Anyway, that's a great, great film. It's kind of like a coming-of-age story, but it's very gritty and visceral. I love that. That's definitely an underrated movie if you've never seen it. I believe it's called A Boy's Life. If you haven't seen it, it's great. That's another great performance. Basketball Diaries, he definitely went for it as far as the performance goes. He was addicted to heroin and crack and doing all kinds of crazy things. I'd say those are a few. Also, I liked him in, like, Inception. I like him in most of his. Wolf of Wall Street, I'd say in the last, like, decade is probably my favorite performance from him. So, you know what these are? They're fun coupons. And he throws a wad of cash. Oh, God, I love it. All right, the next one comes from DJ Crack Mix. What a great name. The X-Men trilogy or Back to the Future trilogy. I got to go with the Back to the Future trilogy. Instantly rewatchable over and over. It doesn't get old. It is the pinnacle. It is the definition of a feel-good, fun 80s movie that always takes me to a happy place and never lets me down. The X-Men movies, I do enjoy a few of them. I think a lot of them have not aged well, especially the first one. I will say X-Men Days of Future Past is probably my favorite of the X-Men movies. But yeah, I definitely go with Back to the Future easily. All right, the next one comes from Matthew. Ghostbusters Afterlife this November. Thoughts? Looking forward to it. The newest trailer got me excited. The fact that they've sort of solidified the fact that the original Ghostbusters more or less will sort of exist in this universe and have a place in the movie. Thank you, please. I mean, after that abomination against humanity that came out in 2016, where it was just the pinnacle. Like, if you couldn't go out of your way to make a worst Ghostbusters movie, but somehow they did in 2016. Just thinking about it makes me want to punch myself in the head. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, it definitely has like that Stranger Things vibe, which is cool with me. So yeah, I can't wait to check it out. Claudia Rogajan says, "Was Reminiscence as forgettable as Jason Bourne?" Yeah. So yeah, if you guys didn't know, in the last day over on the Flickpit channel, I've uploaded 2 movie reactions. I call them reaction videos, but they're essentially movie reviews / mini movie reviews. Except I enjoy making these type and style videos more because I'm not just statically sitting in a camera with 58 jump cuts, and it's like more visceral and organic. And that's what those are the type of reviews I've always wanted to do, to be honest with you. So yeah, over on the Flickpig channel, I put up a Candyman movie review / reaction out of the theater, and then I put up my Reminiscence first reaction, which, by the way, I did see Reminiscence. I saw the movie Reminiscence last week. I shot a video right after I watched it, and I was going through my phone today, and I saw the video on there. I was like, oh shit, I forgot I made this. So I was like, I gotta put it up. So yeah, it's only like 2 minutes long, but it's entertaining. I think you guys will enjoy it. So go check that out if you haven't already. But yeah, Reminiscence, man, what a waste of money. What a terrible waste of money. Just, it's not even the poor man's version because they spent a lot of money on it. It's just the most boring rip off of Inception you could make. Like, it's so obviously inspired by Inception, the tone of it. Even some of the visual cues look very Inception-like. You can tell they were definitely marketing it to that fan base of Nolan. But the script, man, they had like 25 minutes of story dragged out for a 2-hour movie. Oh, God, it was awful. Bakatira says, hello, folks. Well, how's it going, man? Pharaoh Lovely says, hey, John. Well, hey, how's it going? Owen Movie says, hey. Thanks for joining me. Let's keep going here. Jack Malloy says, "Hey John, I watched Donnie Brasco for the first time last night and enjoyed it. Have you seen it before? Also, I'm looking forward to the next Dexter show." I never watched. I watched the first few episodes of Dexter. For some reason, it should have connected with me more than it did, and I just think I was feeling impatient, or I didn't have it in me to go through all the seasons. And everyone said the later seasons get worse, so I never watched it. But I sort of just want to start off watching the new season, honestly. Donnie Brasco, yes, I have seen it. I've seen that movie like once. I think I got like the maybe like the first Blu-ray or DVD. Yeah. I've seen Donnie Brasco like maybe once or twice. Not one of my favorite movies. I used to for a long time get Donnie Brasco and Carlito's Way like combined in the same movie in my brain for some reason. But yeah, I've seen Donnie Brasco. I don't honestly remember a lot of things about it. It's been so long. Jack Malloy has another question. Have you seen Arrested Development? I have started watching it, and it's a very funny and clever show. Yeah, I did. I was late to the game. I think that originally aired in 2004. I didn't watch it until maybe... Oh gosh, I watched it for the first time in like 2018. I just got on a weird binge and started watching it. I will say I love the brother of the show who ends up getting a hook for a hand. Speaking of Candyman, I like the brother in the show that has the hook for a hand. I think he's the funniest character in the entire show. Jason Bateman's great. Yeah, it was good. There's definitely like some weak seasons and a lot of like some weak episodes, but overall I did enjoy it. Billiam says, "How often are you recognized in public?" Every once in a while. It's usually always at like a movie store or like Best Buy or a movie theater. It's at a restaurant once, and I'll never forget the restaurant encounter because the guy came up to me and he's like, hey man. I was like, yeah. And he's like, hey, you're that guy on YouTube that talks about Batman. This is back in like 2016 when I was making a shit ton of Batman v Superman videos. He's like, you're that guy who talks about Batman. I was like, yeah. He's like, don't worry, I won't tell anyone. Like, as if I'm a fugitive running away from law enforcement. Like, you can tell everyone, man. But yeah, occasionally. And also, like, a few WizardCons and Comic-Con type events. It's always cool. I love it. So, there's also been a handful of times where I'll get, like, a DM on Twitter, and someone's like, hey, John, I saw you at a restaurant tonight, and they'll name the restaurant. And I'm like, why didn't you say anything? And they're like, oh, I didn't want to be weird. I'm like, no, be weird. So if you guys ever see me, come up to me. Give me a high five and a hug. Just don't sneeze in my eyes. And it'll be a good time. All right, the next one comes from Claudia Rogajan. All right. I don't think if Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are in the movie, they won't be their movie selves, but from a different universe, which saddens me. I'm a bit confused by your question because they would essentially be their versions of Spider-Man in their own universe. But at what time period in their universe that we know them from would be interesting, right? So, like, if you see Tobey show up in No Way Home, is it Tobey from the first Spider-Man, the second Spider-Man movie? At which point would it be him? Or is it after the fact? Is it old? Actually, it would make most sense to be older Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire. Actually, that would make the most sense, where he's sort of retired from being Spider-Man and then shows up. That's the version I want to see. Just kind of like over the hill. Kind of like the version we got of older Spider-Man in Into the Spider-Verse. That's what I want to see. I think I answered your question, though. Maybe. The next one comes from Winners After Prom Queen. What are your thoughts on Audrey Hepburn? I think she is one of the best actresses of all time. Yeah, I've seen a few of her. I actually have one of her movies, or I did on Blu-ray, or 4K Blu-ray. The Dinner at Tiffany's, is that the movie, or am I saying the wrong title? I feel like I had that. Yeah, doesn't Anne Hathaway look sort of like a modern day Audrey Hepburn, just slightly? Yeah. She was a great actress of her time. Okay, sorry. I'm trying to catch up on the questions here. All right, Carter Lovejoy. And thank you for the question, Carter. What are your Blu-ray slash 4K pickups from this past month? I don't pick up much this month. I've been saving up my money, but I got Indiana Jones 1 through 4 4K, Luca 4K, Quiet Place 2 4K. I actually own all of those on 4K. A lot of times studios, and luckily enough, because I've been doing YouTube so long, and I have so many like Blu-ray reviews on the internet, they've sent me. I usually get a lot of movies from the studio, so most of the time, like a lot of the big ones, I can usually get my hands on. They send to me, but like this month, they sent me The Conjuring. They sent me the steel books of Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. What else did they send? I got something else. I forget. I did get the Luca steelbook as well, and also. I should be working on something fun for the Shawshank Redemption 4K steelbook, and also the Columbia Classics 4K collection. They have a new collection coming out, so with Taxi Driver, which gets both my nips hard. So yeah, I can't wait for Shawshank Redemption on 4K though. Oh god, I can't wait. And just wait for the Morgan Freeman impressions. You just wait. The next one comes from Luke O'Neill. Hey, John, have you seen Free Guy yet? I have. I talked about that in the last live stream quite a bit, actually. What I'm going to do, actually, in the next day or two, because there's been like 5 or 6 movies that came out over the course of this summer that I never got a chance to talk about. So what I'm going to do is sort of like a summer movie wrap-up of all the movies I did not talk about this summer. And there's some good ones in there. So I think I will include Free Guy in there. I don't know why I didn't do a live reaction of it. I think I was just like busy, or I don't know. I did see it. I liked it. I definitely has like a lot of issues with like I didn't care about anything outside of the video game universe. Like everything happening in reality with a computer programmer storylines with Steve from Stranger Things. I was like, I just don't give a shit. Like just get back to the good stuff with Ryan Reynolds. But yeah, so I did see it. It was good. I think had they cast anyone else besides Ryan Reynolds in that movie, it would not have been as good. Like, easily not as good. It would have went down a grade or two. The Archinator 22 says, hey, John, what are your thoughts on the 2008 film Wanted? I hated that movie. I hated it. Like, Angelina Jolie was okay. Like, I like her sometimes. I liked her more like 10 years ago in movies. James McAvoy was in the movie, but it just, I get that they're going for like this over the top sort of like Matrix wannabe, a little bit bombastic action movie, but I couldn't watch it. Like by the end when they had rats with little bombs blowing things up. By the way, a whole bunch of rats saving the day sort of reminds me of the Suicide Squad. Anyway, I hated it. I just remember the opening scene of the movie where she comes flying around in the car and flips upside down and sideways and defies all the rules of gravity. I was just instantly taken out of it. I was like, I can't watch this anymore. Like I like the first act of the movie. I like when James McAvoy's just working in a cubicle and you have like Chris Pratt, one of his first movie roles. I liked those things, but when it got to like the Angelina Jolie stuff, I was like, something about that just took me right out of it. Carter Lovejoy, another question here, says, do you think they'll reveal Toby and Andrew in the film itself and not in any of the trailers? Oh, yeah. I think it would be a complete detriment to reveal them in the trailers. Like, we clearly have an idea they'll probably be in the movie, but don't ruin it. I mean, showing the other villains from other universes of Spider-Man movies is enough. That is enough. The fact that it's a Spider-Man movie is enough. It's a Marvel movie. That's enough. You don't need all this extra stuff. And just if they do that and they ruin that surprise, even if you know what's going to be in there, but they showcase it in the trailer, that's a complete detriment. I think that would be the biggest mistake they could ever make. All right, let's go to the next one here. Luke O'Neill says, will you ever do a Zoom party with members, please? I'm not. Yeah, I've used Zoom a few times. I'm too stupid to figure it out though. I guess I could invite members with the thing and invite a certain amount and then stream it. I know it's probably not as hard as I assume it is. If I don't, I probably, because I want to figure out how to do it. I'm sure it's not that hard. Let me figure out how to do it. So not tomorrow, but maybe on the next one, I can invite like, how many people can you invite in Zoom? Also, I think there's unless you get the premium version of Zoom, I think you also have to pay a fee to like do a live stream on Zoom over like an hour. There's something stupid like that. But anyway, I'll look into it for like future live shows or private YouTube member and Patreon member live shows for sure. Bobby Knight says, what kind of TV/sound system do you have? Also, are you looking forward to Halloween Kills? Right now, I have a LG 65-inch OLED TV. Highly recommend it. Best picture quality you can get. My sound... I'm actually using the TV speakers, which sound pretty good. Over the years, I've used a Yamaha 5.1 surround sound system. I've used like a LG soundbar. I probably will just hook up the soundbar again with a subwoofer, which does a pretty good job. The only thing is that every time you have a wireless subwoofer, no matter how good it is, no matter what it is, that shit always cuts out. There's always an issue. I hate wireless surround sound systems. I would never recommend one. I don't trust them. There's always some kind of weird delay. They cut out. It's like, just give me the wires. I trust wires. Wireless shit just never works, does it? Even in 2021, it still does not work. Explain that to me. But yeah, so I need to hook up the LG soundbar once again because it just makes movies sound that much better. Eventually, when I get a dedicated place, I know I'm going to be out for a long time, I will go back to like a surround sound system for sure. So the next one comes from Gavin Ayot. Oh, Gavin Ayot. Thank you, Gavin, for spelling it out there, or because I'm a dum-dum. Do you own any Criterions? If so, which ones? I own a handful or two. My favorite one is by far the Dazed and Confused Criterion on Blu-ray. I think it's the best Criterion I own as far as like a movie that I love getting a release that it deserved, and like the way it's like laid out, and the it comes with like a poster and like the slipcover, the look of it. I love it. I own a few other Criterions. I don't remember which ones, to be honest with you. I've never been one of those guys who goes out of his way to buy Criterion releases because it's a Criterion. Now, if there's a movie that I love hitting Criterion when it was like Blu-ray, yeah, sure, I would get that. But the thing that gets me most excited now is Criterion's going to 4K. And I don't buy Blu-rays anymore. I will only buy 4K movies unless I know for a fact the movie will never exist on Blu-ray or on 4K. I will buy it on Blu-ray. So yeah, that gets me excited that Criterion's going to 4K. So from now on, if they have like 4K releases of movies I like, I'm gonna go out and get it. But I've never been the guy who buys like some random movie that came out in 1938 that hit Criterion. Like, I'm just like, well, how many times am I gonna watch that? I don't know. Luke O'Neill says, hyped for Dune Part 1. I don't think we're going to get a Dune Part 2. I don't know if Dune's going to be that big of a success, to be honest with you, because that's a very expensive movie. I don't think it quite has the fan base they're going to want it to have. And plus, with HBO Max and theaters right now, I see Dune being sort of a flop, unfortunately. Will it be a good movie? Probably. It'd probably be a great movie. Blade Runner 2049 was a good movie, and that didn't even do that great at the box office. And Blade Runner, in my opinion, has a much bigger fan base going into it than Dune ever would. So I don't know. That's kind of a scary thing. So anyway, I am looking forward to it, though. It's probably one of my more anticipated movies wrapping up the year, right behind No Time to Die. What the... Rotisserie Gerald. Favorite bit from CKY series, anything with Brandon DiCamillo was gold. Yeah, I love his raps. I like his raps where he's like, oh God, I forget even how it goes. I forget, like I liked his little rap sessions or his prank calls. Also, I like the one thing with Bam Margera and Brandon DiCamillo where they're doing like a Skeletor, come here and do like it's basically like a homoerotic Skeletor song. If you don't know what I'm talking about, type in CKY Skeletor music video. It's good stuff. But yeah, I loved the CKY videos. Those were like some of my favorite videos. And that was before like YouTube was a thing. So that was like sort of like early internet videos in a way, but you had to watch them on like DVD at home. Oh, those were great. Almighty says, what are the best things to eat to build muscle? Protein, man. You gotta protein. It just really depends. I mean, protein is what builds muscle, so I'm gonna say anything high in protein, low in carbs and fat. Eat as much protein as you possibly can. But with all that said, you got to get everything else in there too, but not too much, not too little. You got to do it just right. But definitely protein. You need your protein. They say usually 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if you weigh 200 pounds, 200 grams of protein per day would be the goal. I think that's a bit too much sometimes. I think you definitely need a break. I would say days you hit the gym, maybe like 200 grams of protein or getting close to it. But other days, sometimes that's just too much. You're just going to be gassy. So all right, let's go to the next one here. Claudia Rogajan says, I was trying to say they won't be their film counterparts. They will be from different universes other than the films. Get my question now? Yeah, I got your question, but I mean, that's like... But it's still going to be them, man. It's still going to be Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Like, I get that it might have... I get what you're saying. It's not like this... That wouldn't make sense either, because, like, you're saying it's them from another universe that they're not in with their movies? That's getting too convoluted. I hate that. I hate that with a passion. That would make... That's getting messy. That would take more explanation. I guess we'll just wait and see. All right. I get what you're saying, because you can't just take them out of, like... You couldn't just take Spider-Man from Spider-Man 2 and put him in this movie, because, like, how did Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 go on with his life with no explanation of, like, randomly time traveling to another existence? But if No Way Home somehow explains it where you go back into your reality and you forget everything that just happened, I'm sure they'll make up some bullshit. But either way, I can't wait to see all the different Spider-Mans in one movie. Azim the Dream Review says, John, what was college like for you? How did you make friends, and what sort of activities did you take part in? Can you break it down in detail? Need your inspiration, Johnny. I will just say, make sure whatever you're going to school for will directly apply to what you want to do in life, and you need that degree, because paying student loans for a degree that you don't use is the most painful thing on the planet, I assure you. So I went to like a local school that was like 20 minutes away from my house. So I would just go there. I knew some of the people there that actually went to my high school. I just hung out with a few people. I went to school. I left. I went home, hung out with my normal friends. So I didn't go away for college. So, I mean, if you want to go away to another school and get that experience, I don't know, just join activities, join certain clubs. You'll make friends. I think you'll be fine. So yeah, to be honest with you, I just went to school and I came home. I didn't take it with me. I was just there to get a piece of paper, not an experience. Not gonna lie to you. James Dozier says, "Hey John, hope you're doing great. What genre of films do you miss? I miss rated R comedy films from the late '90s and early 2000s. Oh, I miss rated R comedy movies from the fucking '80s. That's where I miss rated R comedy movies. Go back and watch some rated R comedy movies from the '80s." They say shit that they would never, ever say today. And it's glorious. Now, you can disagree with it by today's standards, but back then it was okay. It was commonplace, and that's okay. And I sometimes like to transcend myself into another time period like that. But I do miss it. Everything's PC nowadays. Everyone gets offended. No one can take a joke. And the weird thing is, the people who can't take jokes aren't even the people going to see these fucking movies that they get offended by, but Hollywood bends over and caters to these people, not even giving them the money to go see these movies. So what they're doing is catering to a demographic of people that aren't actually their target audience. So why do we give a shit what these people think? Because they're not the ones paying for the ticket to see the movie. Cater to the group who is, that aren't easily offended by everything. That's who you should cater to. So that's my bone to pick with Hollywood. Rated R comedies are dying. Hollywood is afraid to offend anyone. They will obligatory add things into movies just to appease 1% of a certain group to say, "Oh, we put it in there. You can't get mad at us now." Oh, you'll find something else? Okay. I think that's the biggest problem nowadays. I just watched, you know what I watched last night for the first time in a couple of years? Whiplash. Now, J.K. Simmons' character in Whiplash, who plays Fletcher, is the most aggressive non-PC character I've seen in a movie in a long time. Some of the shit he says in that movie, and that came out in 2014. Keep in mind, that came out in 2014. I don't think that movie would be made today. I really don't. That's really unfortunate. I think some studio or whatever would be too afraid. They'd be like, that character's too offensive. And that makes me sad. So thank you for the question. I'm glad I got to say all that out loud. That felt really good and slightly therapeutic. And that's why I do these live shows. This is a form of therapy for me. So thank you. And now I'm going to go cry afterwards. Let's go to the next one. Winner is at the prom queen. Who is the most overrated actor or actress? Whew. Why do I always forget her name? I've never been a fan of her. Why can't I not remember her name? Meryl Streep. I've never been a fan of Meryl Streep. Have you ever been a fan of Meryl Streep? I don't think she's a bad actress. She just gets nominated for anything she's in. I'm just like, why? Maybe Meryl Streep. Luca O'Neill says, don't at me. Temple of Doom is a masterpiece. Don't hate me. Oh, I love me some Temple of Doom, man. Now, I hate the first act of Temple of Doom. Like when they fly to the airplane with the raft, and I'm just like, but everything after that, when they get to India and they're going through like the child slave labor camps in India where they're breaking rocks covered in chains. Oh, I love all of that. Yes, I just said I enjoy child slave labor. Take it how you will, but I do in Indiana Jones Temple of Doom. Shut up. Yeah, I love it, man. I mean, it gets graphic. It rips a heart out. It's palpitating. Oh, yeah. I enjoy it. I really do. Brock Lohman, thank you for the very generous super chat, Brock. Sup, John? It's B-Rock here. Oh, I'll say B-Rock. All right, B-Rock. If you had to choose one, what would it be? Robert Pattinson's Batman movie or Michael Keaton's return as Batman in the new Flash movie? Oh, damn you for that. Oh, that new Flash movie, every time I see like a paparazzi set photo or something leaked, I just get more excited. I'm like, more or less, if this movie is 90% of like Batman and Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck's Batman and like 10% of Flash in his own movie, I'm fine with that. But Robert Pattinson's Batman movie is like sort of the tone and vibe of a Batman film I feel like we've needed for a long time. Something a little bit more subdued, something that's not as much of a spectacular version of Batman. That's so tough, man, because seeing Keaton back as Batman, who would have ever thought? Who would have ever thought that was possible? You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. I'm back, baby. I was going to do a Beetlejuice impression there, too. Hey, come here. Hey, what are you doing over there? That's my Beetlejuice impression. I hope you enjoyed that. If I had to pick one, I don't know. I can't do it. I can't do it. I will say I'm just super excited for both, and I'm grateful we are getting both of them. But thank you for the question, man. James Dosher says, would you say Alien and Aliens are the only films in the franchise worth watching? No. I definitely think there's quality attributes to be said about Aliens 3 by Fincher. There are things in that movie to like. There are. The fourth one is a piece of trash. A lot of the other things related to that franchise are trash as well. I will say there are moments in Prometheus I really enjoy. There's a lot of things in Prometheus I enjoy, but there's a lot of things I hate that just take me right out of that movie. Alien Covenant. I really overall enjoy that movie, but there's a lot of things in that movie that take me right out of the movie. And it's just like blatant, obvious bad decisions that they made but left in the movie. Like the part where you have Michael Fassbender as David. He's like, let's play the flute. Now it's your turn to blow. What? What is that? So yes, I think there's redeeming qualities in some of the other movies in the Alien franchise, but obviously the first two are the best. Oh, hi, Mark. One of Nick Cage's forgotten flicks is Fast Times at Ridgemont High. He plays one of Sean Penn's stoner buddies. He has no lines, but he is in a couple of shots. Yeah, he also works at the fast food joint in the movie as well. I actually just watched that movie like a week or two ago. Where did I watch that? Where did I watch that at? Amazon Prime maybe, or Netflix? Either way, yeah, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, another 80s comedy movie that would never, ever be made today. That tackles a lot of great, like, real life serious subjects, but also it's like funny at the same time. So, oh, that's such a great movie. Hey, bud. All right, the next one, just JDD24 says, and thanks for the question, Ohio Mark. Just JDD24 says, hey, John, loved your newest reaction videos. What are your top 3 movie endings? Oh man, you're gonna give it to me like that? I'm gonna say Terminator 2 Judgment Day. The entire last 5 to 10 minutes of that movie just give me everything I need as a man. You just have the T-800 self-terminating down into the hot melting steel with his thumb up. Oh, that made grown men cry, and it still makes me cry to this day. That was great. I'll go with like another more modern day movie. I enjoyed the ending to Infinity War. The bad guy won. Thank you. It's a cliffhanger. I'm excited to see part 2 now. Thank you for that. That got me excited. I love dark, bleak endings to movies. One of my favorite movies of all time, if not my favorite movie of all time, is Nightcrawler. Guess what? Spoilers. The bad guy wins. And it's a success story nevertheless. Those are just a few. I'm sure, off the top of my head, I'm trying to think of like another ending. I'll just go with those for now. The next one comes from Brendan. Did you hear about the Batman private screening having great reviews yesterday and the movie feeling like a horror movie? It means rumors were fake from some YouTubers who are making about Warner Brothers having problems with the film. Were those actually confirmed, those screenings from people? I saw one video about one guy who knew a guy. I don't know. Is it true? I don't know. But nevertheless, I hope it's great. I heard the original cut of the movie was like 3 hours long. Now, obviously, that's going to be dwindled down to like 2.5 hours or something. But give me that director's cut, baby. Give me that 3-hour version of Batman, please. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I mean, that's good if it's true. James Dozier says, Roger Rabbit comes to 4K in December. I'm excited. Me too. Jessica Rabbit in 4K, give it to me. Now, I mean, how much can you elevate an animated character into 4K? I don't know, but I can't wait to see it. Speaking of Jessica Rabbit, go watch my Reminiscence review. I do reference Jessica Rabbit. Yeah, somehow I made a Roger Rabbit reference in Reminiscence. You played patty cake? I love it. Put him in the dip. Steven Staniforth says, John, can you say, Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust? Why did I just say that? Oh, in my Morgan Freeman voice. I was saying it in my Uncle Jesse voice from Full House. Why? I don't know. What are you going to do with this? That's my only question, but I don't care. Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust. Okay. Bobby Knight says, thoughts on Halloween Kills? Do you have any concerns it won't be good? Actually, somebody earlier asked about Halloween Kills as a two-parter question. I just remembered that now. So let's talk about Halloween Kills now. I'm looking forward to it. The 2018 one really let me down overall. I expected way more than I got, and there was just some bad things put into that movie, and I just don't know how they didn't read the script and go, maybe we shouldn't do that. I'm hoping it's good. I am looking forward to it. I mean, the Halloween vibe of the movie just gets me excited when it comes out around October time. I'm just hoping it's good. Just give me something good, please. I'm excited. If it's going to be great, I'm not sure yet. Based on some of the decisions I made in that previous one, man, I don't know. Funny toy videos. Thoughts on Terminator Genesis, best John Connor besides Edward Furlong. I hate Terminator Genesis. I absolutely hate that fucking movie. I hate everything about that movie. I hate it. Jason Clarke, I can't look at him. I'm sorry. When they put the baloney prosthetics on his face and make him feel like John Connor, he did not feel like John Connor. He just doesn't. I'm sorry. I hated Terminator Genesis. And you know how many problems I've had with Terminator Genesis and Universal Studios? It's Universal, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. You know how many times? So I made like 4 videos about that movie. They have literally copyrighted claimed every single one of those videos. I dispute them. I win the dispute. They come back a year or 3 later and dispute them again. And you know why? Because I shit on the movie every single time in the videos. They didn't like that. I'm telling you. So anyway, I hate it. Edward Furlong to me is John Connor. Now Christian Bale, on the other hand, was a believable grown-up version of John Connor. I could believe him being the leader of the resistance. He looks like a badass. Jason Clarke does not have those attributes. Christian Bale does. This is John Connor. If you're hearing this, you are the resistance. Keep fighting. I love that. Patrick Flickinger. Hey, Patrick Flickinger. Are we related? I don't know. John, what is your day-to-day schedule looking like these days? And are you vaccinated yet? I don't talk about politics on here. And for some reason, vaccinations are politics, which is really sad nowadays. I don't believe you should have to be vaccinated to go certain places. I don't think you should have to carry a piece of paper saying it. I think that's like a scary concept that's going to go a little bit further. But anyway, let's continue. Also, is your YouTube your only job income? Yeah, YouTube, things related to YouTube. Yeah, more or less everything revolves around YouTube. Yeah, it is. Sort of been my full-time gig since 2014. But I've done other things on the side. I did some like investing. That went pretty good for a couple years there and went kind of bad for a year. I've had a few other side gigs on the side just for like fun, but yeah, more or less YouTube. I ask because I want to take you to Dorsia tomorrow night and know you more like Paul Allen. Would you like to see the special, sir? Not if you want to keep your spleen. Day-to-day schedule, I'll just tell you my schedule today. I went to a breakfast burrito place, got a few burritos. I always get 2. I eat one then, and I save one for later. I came home. I watched like 35 minutes of Casino Royale on Netflix and responded to some emails on my phone. I went through a few other things, like I had to send a few sponsorship pitches to a few companies. And then I edited my Reminiscence review. I posted that. I edited another video. I scripted out another video. Set up the live stream. Yeah, I think that was my day so far today. I hope that was a fulfilling answer. The next one comes from Sid Dave. Says, watching Jake Paul versus Tyrone Woodley. Sure, man. Who cares? Those fights are so sandbagged. Who even cares? Oh, we're punching each other. Okay. How about a fight to the death? That's the fight I would like to see, with both Paul brothers and a group of gladiators swinging spike-covered balls wrapped with chains attached to them. That's what I want to see. An actual gladiator fight. Bobby Knight says, do you think political social undertones bleed too far into modern-day film criticism, such as a critic panning a movie for not having a diverse cast? Sometimes, yeah. Yes, I think a story should be a story, and whatever the artistic inspiration or motivation or the director seemed, who he wanted to cast in that movie to tell that story, that's what it should be, and you should judge it on those merits alone. To simply have like, here's a movie, now we have to put a white guy, we got to put a black guy, we have to put an Asian guy in there, just for the sake of doing it. Like, it's just like, it's reaching. It's like, there's nothing wrong with diversity in a movie. Sure, if the role is right for that actor or actress, great, put them in the movie. If you're just doing to appease people, then like, no, just tell the story. Whatever best tells that story of the pages on that script, to translate it to film, that's the movie I want to see. Whatever it takes to do that, that's what it should be. So yeah, sometimes I guess certain critics feel the need to say certain things like that. I don't know, to make themselves, to virtue signal. I don't know. There's always some kind of weird subjective version to it. That's why when it comes to movie reviews, I just try to be a guy who likes movies. I'm a movie enthusiast. Here are my thoughts. Take them or leave them. And please like the video and subscribe. All right, let's go to the next one here. Austin Rash says, "Have you ever listened to the bands A System of a Down or Korn?" Absolutely. I love me some Korn. "Beating Me Down" is probably my favorite song by Korn. That was like 2002 or something, right? Also from System of a Down, Chop Suey. What was the prison song? "Build a Better System," something. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I used to listen to that in 7th grade, and I was actually in wrestling in 7th grade, listening to the CD of System of a Down on the way to like wrestling meets. I always remember listening to that. Brevin's Flicks and Games. How's it going, Brevin? Thoughts on the trailer for No Way Home? We talked about that earlier. Really enjoyed it. I had a lot of thoughts earlier, so scroll back and watch them. But I did enjoy it. I'm happy that they confirmed that we will have multiple villains from other Spider-Man universes. I'm just glad they gave us that. It's great to see Alfred Molina back as Doc Ock and Willem Dafoe back as Green Goblin. It's just amazing. Well, Willem Dafoe has not been confirmed as Green Goblin. Yeah, we saw the Green Goblin little grenade or whatever it is, but also that Green Goblin grenade is like the same one that Harry was using in Spider-Man 3. It's I think it's the identical one, if I'm not mistaken. Don't tell Harry. Thanks for the question, though, man. Benny says, favorite Jim Carrey movie. If you're talking about like Jim Carrey movie with acting, I would say probably The Truman Show. But like when it comes to straight up just pure Jim Carrey comedy, I have to go Dumb and Dumber. All right. The next one comes from Dr. Algae. That's a great name, man. All right. Hang on a second here. And thanks to all 311 of you guys watching right now. Thank you so much. Makes me feel good about who I am and what I'm doing. All right. Where did your question go? Oh, there it is. Okay, Dr. Algae says, "Good evening, John. I'm curious what made you change your style you used to do. You used, why can I not say what you're saying here? Change your style you used to use in videos such as the legendary Fan 4-Stick review. I still watch to this day, by the way. Love the way you do your thing, no matter what, though." Yeah, lately, my new style has sort of been like a first reaction right out of the theater, a little bit more visceral, a little more on the cuff, and it's sort of like a vloggy style of review of the movie. And for me, that's something I've sort of wanted to do for years. Honestly, like 3 years ago, I remember just sitting down, doing a review for some mediocre movie, and I sat there for like 45 minutes, blah, blah, blah about the movie. Then I went and edited the video for like 3 hours, chopped it all together, and make like a 5-minute video. And I just felt like by the end of it, so much had got lost. And for me, I've never really loved static sit-down movie reviews. I'm not going to lie to you. I sort of find them a little bit boring. Like, to be completely honest with you, the thing I watch the least of on YouTube are like sit-down movie reviews of movies. Something about them feels so just blah to me. I like when people come out of the theater talking about the movie. I want the real reaction / thoughts on the movie. Like, I don't just want a reaction where someone goes, "Oh," and then, that's it for 5 minutes. I want like that plus like thoughts and opinions and like in-depth analysis of the film. So my new style is that's what I like to do. I just, for me, those are the videos I would rather watch. Now, does everyone like that? I think some people have been conditioned to watch sit-down edited videos. And don't get me wrong, I'm not done doing those, because sometimes it is nice to collect your thoughts and do more of an analysis on a film. And that's what that set right there is for. I will be doing those. There's a lot of movies that don't justify that, in my opinion. There's just a lot of movies that you should be able to do a quick review out of the theater and wrap it up in 5 minutes or 3 minutes or whatever, like Reminiscence. The thought of sitting down and reviewing Reminiscence for like an hour and then editing that for multiple hours just to talk about Reminiscence, that feels like such a waste of time. But the video I put up, I find far more entertaining. Like, if someone else made that video, like, I would never watch someone sit down and review Reminiscence. I just wouldn't. But like the style of video I made of it, I would rather watch that. Like, it's like, oh, I get it. I consumed it. I'm done. 2 minutes. I'm in. I'm out. And it's just a little bit more fun to watch, in my opinion. It's more like hanging out with a friend, talking about the movie. Yeah, I guess that's what I prefer that. I think it's more like just like hanging out. It's more like I can invite you guys to hang out with me after the movie. It's like you're sort of coming out of the movie with me, and we're having a conversation about it, and then we get in my car and go to IHOP. That's what's happening. That's what I would prefer. So, but don't get me wrong. I will have more sit down reviews for some movies, not all. I think like the movies that don't need it will have like just quick reaction videos. All right, let's go to the next one here. And thank you for the question, man. All right, Brock Lohman says Brock Lohman says, or B-Rock as I would like to call him, and thank you for the very generous super chat, Brock. Thanks, man. That was too generous of you, dude. Thank you. But B-Rock says, to counterpoint the whole what movie genre you want to see more, which one do you want to see less? For me, the teenage murder mystery, I feel like it's everywhere. 13 Reasons Why, Riverdale, Fear Street, etc. Yeah, definitely the streaming service murder mystery with teenagers who are all inept, unlikable, and you just don't care about any of them, so you want to watch them all brutally murdered or put into a meat grinder one by one and turn into SpaghettiOs for my consumption. That would be fun. But yeah, I get it. Yeah, that's one genre. Also, the young adult novels brought to the big screen, and it's always like overuse of CG that always looks muddy and like bleak looking, and they suck the saturation out of those young adult novel movies or whatever. Like that whole genre of movies, I think like they did the Hunger Games, and they did a shit ton of other ones, but a lot of them sort of failed and flopped. So I was sort of glad to see that sort of die off a little bit. That was one genre I was happy to see go. But yeah, I do agree with you, and thank you for the question. Alvaro Albera, I think I said that right. What do you think Rob Zombie's version of the Munsters will be like? There'll probably be a group of cult followers. Eddie Monster will probably be a cannibal. Who fucking knows, man? I don't know. I am intrigued to see it. I'm surprised it's like a Rob Zombie version of it, which it's going to be insane, batshit crazy, I would only assume. I've never been a big fan of Rob Zombie movies. But I mean, it could be great or it could be completely terrible. I can't wait to see it, though. James Dozier says, what are your thoughts on Jurassic Park 3? I would rather watch Jurassic Park 3 than Jurassic World or Fallen Kingdom. I would, yeah. I enjoy it for what it was, even though I think it's the worst out of the original 3, but I would like to watch it like to watch it than the 2 Jurassic World movies. Yeah, like I said, I think 3 is more consumable and easier to get through than the new installments. Something about those new Jurassic Park movies, just like Chris Pratt and like the characters, they just lack charisma. And they just like maybe Chris Pratt has charisma, but he just feels like generic guy in a generic action dinosaur movie. It doesn't feel like Jurassic Park to me in those movies. It just feels so sterile. The thing about Jurassic Park 3 is at least Sam Neill comes back. You have that. The only thing I thought was a complete detriment to Jurassic Park 3, and I thought it was such a missed opportunity, was the character in that film named Billy, who's like a young archaeologist or whatever, sort of like an apprentice to Sam Neill's character, Dr. Alan Grant. And I truly thought in the original script, and he almost looks the part. It looks like an older Tim from the original Jurassic Park, the little kid Tim. It almost looked like they wrote that part for him to be an older version of himself in that movie. And I could have seen that happening. Am I the only one? And I always thought and even if so, why are they not utilizing Tim in newer Jurassic Park movies to be a character? It just feels like a missed opportunity to me. I don't know. Someone says Chris Pratt's charismatic, but not as much as he thinks he is. Yeah, that's a good description. I will say, you can't top Jeff Goldblum, right? You can't make another one of those. All right, let's go to the next one here. Beyond Comics. What time is it? Okay. By the way, guys, I'm no more questions. No, please, no more questions right now. I'm going to wrap up and finish as many as I can. No, don't get me wrong. I still have questions from Super Chats from 10 minutes ago, so I'm going to get through these. But please, no more questions. I'm going to wrap up this live show around 9:30ish, or however long it takes me to get through the remaining questions. And I will be doing another one tomorrow night around 9 o'clock. So look out for that. All right. Let's get through the questions here. Okay. Beyond Comics 2099 says, "You're so cool, bro." Well, thank you for that. You're cool too, man. You make my nights every time you go live. What did you think about Spider-Man 3 trailer? Spider-Man 3 trailer. I loved the Goblin tease. I actually cried. Yeah, the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, man. When someone says Spider-Man 3, I think of that shit back in 2007. And that's if you know what I mean. Peter Parker, my spider senses are tingling. Yeah, I enjoyed it. There's something about the look of it I don't love yet. It just looks kind of like the color palette. I know that's so nitpicky, but the color grading and the color palette, like, I'm just like, I don't know. But I'm looking forward to it, man. Joshua Garrison says, "What's up, John? I watched the new Candyman tonight. I didn't think it was as near as good as the first." Yeah, it's been so long since I've seen the first. Now, the new Candyman is essentially a sequel to the original movie, and it goes a very different direction by the end. I've seen the original Candyman years and years ago. The new Candyman, I think it's a little on the nose at times with some of the social, like, political agenda messaging. But a lot of people were, like, complaining about that, but I knew that was going to happen going in. I mean, when Jordan Peele has a movie, he writes a screenplay. That's what he's done in every movie. And in this one, it's a little heavy-handed, yes. But in Get Out and Us, it definitely has that social commentary. I didn't hate Candyman. I was actually pleasantly surprised, to be honest with you, by it. I just was entertained. I honestly sat there and I was like, I was entertained by it. Now, would I go back and rewatch it anytime soon? Probably not. And Candyman's never one of my favorite horror villains anyway, so. Haloom says, "Hey, John, do you think the bad Avenged Sevenfold..." Oh, do you like the band Avenged Sevenfold? Yeah, I do, actually. I like a lot of their songs. I feel like you would like a song, A Little Piece of Heaven. I feel like I've heard that. I'm terrible when it comes to music and song titles. Like, if I heard the song, I would be like, oh, yeah, I know that. But, like, the title, sometimes I forget. Like, my brain's always hyper focused on movies and details about movies. Like, I can't also suck in information about music for some reason. But yeah, I did enjoy Avenged Sevenfold. AM12BAMA. Jake Paul versus the Flick Pick 2022. I think Jake Paul might have. He trains to be a boxer. He probably outweighs me by like 10 pounds right now. I'd have to like get back and give me like a year to get super back. Even then, he probably has the technique. How about an arm wrestling match? Just JDD24 says, "Do you remember the film The Strangers with Liv Tyler? I watched it recently and found it to be a decent horror movie." Yeah, Strangers is kind of a creepy concept when you think about it. I mean, that could happen to anyone. That could happen. That's my fear. That's why I don't live in the woods. I'll tell you that right now. Now, the sequel is terrible. But I liked it. I watched it once or twice. I enjoyed it. It's definitely eerie. It's like a nice, simplistic horror film that feels realistic and not over the top. Steve Goldie says, "Hey, John, what did you think of The Others 2001 with Nicole Kidman?" I have seen that movie one time, and the last time I saw it was like 2005, and it's one of those movies I always like try to get around to watching again, but never have. So I don't honestly remember much about it. It's been like 16 years since I've seen it. Watchtower Studio says, "How's the song Boogie Nights not in the movie Boogie Nights? Also, American History X rules." Is Boogie Nights the song not in Boogie Nights? Maybe you're right. Is it? I swear there was a scene in a club where they played the song. I could be completely wrong. And American History X, yeah, that's outside of Terminator 2 Judgment Day, that's Edward Furlong's best performance he's ever given. I mean, as an adult, it's definitely his best performance he's ever given. I love American History X. I've seen that probably like 4 or 5 times. I love it. Kevin Litchford, Kevin, I'm sorry, I can't talk. Kevin Litchford says, have you seen the quotes from people who saw a private screening of the Batman? Very graphic, very dark, very scary. I'm excited for a new take on Batman. Now, once again, I think that's all stemming from one person who told that to another person. If I'm not mistaken, I think we may have seen the same report or the same person said that. But if those are true, that gets me excited. That gets my bat nips hard. Yes, it does. Absolutely. Those are all great things to say about a new Batman movie that I want to hear. If they are in fact true, I don't know that. But I absolutely. I just give me the Batman movie, please. Isn't it supposed to come out in March, right? It's coming out in March. Please don't get delayed. I just need it. Thanks for the question, Kevin. Your name here says, hey, John, think we'll see a Paul Giamatti as Rhino in Spider-Man? I fucking hope not. Very underrated actor, especially in Love and Mercy. You only think you're hungry? Hey, Spider-Man, I'm going to come over there. I'm going to get you. You hear me? I'm going to get you, Spider-Man. Oh, I love me some Paul Giamatti, man. I love him in Howard Stern Private Parts. That's an underrated movie. I like that movie. I like when Howard Stern calls his character Pig Vomit. Anyway, I like Paul Giamatti. Yeah, great actor. I hope not. Now, this would get me excited. If you're listening, Marvel, and if this happens, I said it first. No one else said this except for me. This just came to my brain, so it's straight from my brain to you guys. What if Paul Giamatti does show up in Spider-Man No Way Home? Not as the mechanical, shitty Rhino that we saw in Amazing Spider-Man 2 for 3 seconds at the end of the movie. No. What if he shows up as Rhino, but in actual Rhino form, you know, the big muscle-bound version of Rhino from another universe, but it's Paul Giamatti's face on that. That's the version of Rhino I want to see. That would be fucking awesome. Yes, please. Give me that. Then I'd be okay with it. Ew, just saying that got me excited. I mean, if they can redo Electro, they can redo Rhino. Those are my quick thoughts. King of the Ooze. King of the Ozone. I wanted to say King of the Ooze. King of the Ozone says, do you still movie hunt? Miss the trips to the Blue Beast and Mega Replay? Yeah, I've done some of those videos. One flick trip, I was really disappointed in the view count, and I don't like to talk about views often, but I was very disappointed into the amount of work I put into this shit. Go watch The Most Epic Flick Trip Ever Made. That is the title. I put drone shots in there. I put epic montages. It's a good video. Go check that out. It's over on the FlickPick channel. But either way, I have 2 flick trip videos. I literally have 2 flick trip videos waiting to be edited. Now, the holdup was I had a sponsorship that I was going to do, and I wanted to put those in the video because why not? It helps the channel, so why would I not do that? So that's the holdup. But I have 2 videos that sort of correlate with each other. It's almost they go side and side, but it would be 2 flick trip videos more or less. As far as movie hunting, whenever I'm in Best Buy or something, I look for a good deal or a movie I like. Or a used movie store. But don't get me wrong, I will do more flick trip videos. And sometimes the movie hunting thing, yeah, that's one aspect of a flick trip, but another aspect is just going to see a movie. That's more or less a flick trip too. So yeah, the Top Gun episode, yeah, it's called The Most Epic Flick Trip Ever. That's the video though. Rhino deserves justice. So does Mr. Flickinger. Thank you for that. Let's go to the next one. Karen Adams says, what did you think of Don't Breathe 2? I was not a fan. I thought it was really underwhelming. The opening plot sequence and everything happening in the movie almost makes no sense. The villains of the movie are laughable, meth heads who have the most organized meth head lab in existence. I'm meth heads are not this organized, first of all. Second of all, there's just things that happen in that movie that make absolutely no sense, and I don't want to spoil certain things. And they also made Stephen Lang's character, who was essentially a rapist in the first movie, and the antagonist, he's sort of a good guy now, and you're they're trying to make you root for him, sort of, kind of he's an anti-hero, but at the same time, I'm you've locked a girl in your basement, man. I don't know about this shit. So anyway, I hated Don't Breathe 2. I really thought it was disappointing. And Karen Adams had another super chat in there, so thank you. Where am I at with the questions? Okay, got this one. Okay. Yeah, okay. Josh Coffee says, like the drink, but spelled differently. Great content as of late, sir. Well, thanks, man. Will you be picking up the Snyder Cut on Blu-ray September 7th? LFG. What's LFG mean? Almost most anticipated movie this fall. What does LFG mean? Someone let me know. Am I dumb? So anyway, yeah, I think I just got an email from Warner Brothers, I feel like the other day, and I requested it on 4K. So yeah, I should get it, and I can't wait to check it out. I mean, I kind of already saw the movie on 4K streaming, so, but yeah, I'm hoping Warner Brothers does send me a copy because I'd like to put it on the shelf. Because I already tossed out the other version of Justice League on 4K. Get rid of that shit. All right. Claudia Rogajon says, you think Doc Octopus and Green Goblin will be from different universes and not their universe selves? Also, how do you explain they're alive? So I get what you're saying. It's not Doc Ock from the movieverse we know him from, but it's from another universe with another Spider-Man who looks like Tobey Maguire from another universe, not the one that we saw. Yes, yeah. I mean, they're basically selling us on nostalgia at this point. But yeah, to explain things, I get it. Yes, I get what you're saying. Yes, it'll be Alfred Molina's Doc Ock, but not that version of Doc Ock that was in Spider-Man 2. I get it. I get that. And maybe that's why he looks slightly different. Or maybe they come from or maybe he's coming from Spider-Man 2 before he dies and he gets teleported back instantly when he's fighting Spider-Man on the subway sequence. I don't know. But yes, I get what you're saying. At this point, it's almost getting confusing thinking about it. Random Commando 41 says, hi. Well, thanks for the super chat, Random Commando 41. Thank you for that. Much appreciated. And hi to you too, sir. Thanks, man. Daniel Cahulo. Daniel Cahulo. I'm going to say it like that. Hey, Johnny boy. I've been playing Assassin's Creed Unity, and it's so immersive. Do you believe in the simulation theory? The whole Assassin's Creed series is about it. Well, Elon Musk definitely believes in a simulation theory, and sometimes in life, there almost is no explanation other than we are in a simulation. There's been things and coincidences and just things that have happened to me in my life where I'm like, that's too similar to that thing. How did that happen? And sometimes, do you ever just watch the news for like 10 minutes? You're like, this is shit that could only happen in like a B-rate sci-fi movie, and it's happening. It's just bizarre to me. So yeah, in some sense, I do. In a way, I do. I do believe that. Thank you for the question. I don't want to get too profound right now, though. Azim the Dream Review says, I understand how you feel about JW movies. If I'm on, just Jurassic World movies. I got to be honest, if Chris Pratt wasn't in Jurassic World Dominion, I don't think I would be as nearly excited. I can't wait to see Alan Grant interacting with Chris Pratt's character and Raptors. Yeah, you know the thing I'm most excited, and you didn't mention it, I'm glad the original cast is coming back. That's what gets me most excited. I could care less about Chris Pratt in the movie. Don't get me wrong, I don't dislike Chris Pratt. He's okay, but like, give me Alan Grant, give me Jeff Goldblum, give me those characters. Those are the characters I want to see come back and do things on screen that I care about. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the movie nevertheless, man. I just like that we're finally like getting a different movie other than going back to Jurassic Park or a movie taking place in an old guy's mansion. Mason Arnold says, I finally read the Long Halloween comic as well as the movie. Part 1 is pretty good, but part 2 is badass. Yeah, dude, those are 2 animated movies from Warner Bros. I've been meaning to get and check out. I just have not got them yet, and I love the storyline. And essentially, the Batman will be based around the Long Halloween, which gets me more excited. So, yeah, I think it's one of the most interesting storylines relating to Batman. But I do want to see the animated movies. I just have not yet. It's on the to-do list. Okay, I'm going to make this the last question, guys. So no more questions. Please, no more questions because I don't want to miss your questions. And keep in mind, we will be doing another live show tomorrow night at 9 Eastern time. Obed Arzaga says, thoughts on Cloud Atlas? I have a review talking about that movie on my second channel, maybe? Or my main channel. I did not like it. Snyder Cut was a real film, but Warner Brothers let Josh ruin it. Yeah, more or less. Amaria is here. Hey, how's it going, Amaria? Hope you're doing well. I will upload those older episodes of the podcast. And by the way, guys, I do have one more question here, so no more questions. But yeah, I did mention this earlier. Before I go, I'm going to answer one more question. Tomorrow night, I'm doing the new live show at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And if you guys are YouTube members for the Ask Me Anything perk, or Patreon supporters for the Ask Me Anything perk, or other perks beyond that, like the podcast and stuff, I will send out a special link tomorrow night after the next live show for you guys to join me immediately after the live show. And it's a private hangout just for you guys and me. So bring the baby oil. It'll be fun. Okay. And I'll be doing some giveaways, so look out for that. I'll announce the details tomorrow night, so don't worry. Okay, last question comes from Claudio Rogajon, and he says, why wouldn't you make them their film counterparts, though? That will be the biggest mistake Marvel has ever made if that's what happens. Yes, yeah, it's like, why include Doc Ock, but not the Doc Ock we know from Spider-Man 2, but a Doc Ock from another Marvel universe, but he's just Doc Ock in that universe. I get what you're saying. It kind of has like a disconnect about it. I do understand that. Because that doesn't make much sense, because like, why does that Doc Ock look different than the Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2, but why does Tom Holland's Spider-Man look different than Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man or Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man? So why do all the different Doc Ocks look the same, but the Spider-Mans look different? That's a good, yes. So if it's not Doc Ock from like Spider-Man 2, what the fuck are we doing? There's no, oh my God, my head hurts. Can someone answer this in the comments? I hope you do. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up there, guys, so no more questions. We have a few YouTube member questions. Yeah, so not really questions, just comments. But thanks, MKF30 and Bakatir and Obed Arzaga. I hope to see you guys tomorrow in the YouTube members-only live show. And I will upload the older episodes of the podcast for YouTube members, so look out for those. Okay. As always, guys, thank you guys so much for hanging out, joining me, just watching, asking questions. It does mean a lot, as always. And like I said, if you haven't already, make sure you go over to the Flickpit channel and watch the 2 new videos I put up. Everyone complained, John, you don't put up enough videos. Well, I have new videos. Go watch the shit out of them. Enjoy them. Love them. Covet them. Do whatever you want to them. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, hanging out. Once again, another new live show tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Eastern time. PM, obviously, not in the morning. And I'll see you guys here. So don't worry if you missed out tonight. I'll see you again tomorrow night. Take care. Stay safe. Have a good night. And I'll see you guys next time.